that it is very clear you have all the solutions and all that remains is implementation. That yes, you understand the problem, but are simply doing nothing.
Okay, I think, first of all, there's two things. I've had political meetings in Nairobi, many. We even had ODM Youth Convention on Monday. And for me, I think it's important for us to recognize that unemployment plays a huge role in goonism. And the exploitation of that unemployment by politicians is also very sad and disheartening. So this is how I handle, first of all, being a woman from 2017, getting into elective positioning, realizing that there were certain places I could go, certain places I couldn't go. They're not any, in fact, they're harder and harsher on women. But eventually, I remember going to a school in Korogocho, and there was a young boy, Hashim and his team, who blocked, Tito, Hashim, they blocked the gate. They didn't want me to leave. And, eventually we got out. But then I told my bodyguard, go back to Korogocho and find those young men. I want to have a sit down with them. And I did. And we got them to get organized into a group, get registered, gave them empowerment, right? But life is hard and it continues beating you. To break the cycle of poverty takes a long time. So whenever I have a function, they will show up and they know that mom will leave something for us, but we have to be orderly. There are other politicians who will give you alcohol the night before, and then you come in and you're disorderly and you're exploiting them. There are other politicians who will get goons, okay, which I call young Kenyans on the harsh side of life, get them to go and disrupt a meeting. So I feel as politicians and as leaders, let's not exploit.
Are we saying politicians are above the law?
No, and this is where Murkomen now needs to really come in, because I really believe that government has an intelligence arm, and they should use it completely. Gather watertight, to blame the judiciary when you don't have a watertight case is wrong. So create your watertight case so that by the time you go, you have absolute evidence. And I really want to see what will happen with this Asotsi case. What happened to Asotsi was wrong. Whoever hired them, all right, should be brought to book. The investigation should be thorough. Let's deal with it once and for all. And then the ones who've crossed the borders, surely, we have Interpol. Get them back to the country. Do not tell me that they've crossed the borders. So I think it's time that we do what is right now so that we can avoid this. But we also need...
What do you think about the CS's conduct yesterday, the kind of explanation he gave the National Assembly? Is this a quality of answers you expect from an interior CS?
When it comes to interior and it comes to defense, I really believe that on open camera, there is very little that you can say, right? But I hope that in the little that he said in open camera, right, there will be a lot done behind the scenes. And I want to say something about P.S. Raymond. Do you know what P.S. Raymond has done for the youth that were hired by politicians to do the wrong thing has been commendable. I was in Uganda for the election observation, and I went in Kampala. Kampala was really opposition tough, all right? And I I spoke to some of the police, because as an observer, election observer, you get the preview of talking to a lot of people. And I said, how are you handling, goonism here? I asked that question to the head of, one of the heads of the police stations that I visited. And he said to me, you know what? We incorporated them into providing security in the grassroots, all right? And, we trained them so that they can do, the police trained them. Because the police realize that we are one for maybe 500 or 600. So what we have to do, what we perceived as goons, let us take them. And I want to say this, a lot of our goons are beyond hiring for NYS, beyond the age of hiring for police. But if we streamline them and we got them and we, I'd like to see a day where the president who's opened State House actually has a day with all the goons of Nairobi. So that, yes, exactly. Because State House has now become the place for the citizens. Because, you bring all those goons that are misused by politicians, because we're heading to an election, and you sit with them and you'll realize one thing. What they want is gainful employment. They don't want to be hired by goons. It's so risky as goons because it's so risky.
The kind of damage they cause.
Let me tell you, the damage they're causing is because they're allowing themselves to be hired. For me, I tell you, I have Soldier in Mathare, who is a really, he will not allow himself to be hired for the wrong things. But maybe in the past he did. You've got Sultan now in Mathare, young, imagine, they've got fire, they've got anger, they've got a lot of things. These are youth. Let me tell you, I don't like referring to them as goons.
But we know exactly the kind of people we're talking about.
No, I tell you what, I want to tell you that there is a time that we need, because these are role models in the mtaa. So what I want us to do, we know who they are. Even Baba, by the way, Baba once told me, we sat down with Baba and we talked, because Baba used to hate the way they push and shove and as he heads to the stage. So one day we had a discussion with Baba, and Baba said, Esther, we need a program for them. And you know what we did? I called all of them. We gave them borders. We tried to get them into gainful employment.
Isn't that part of the problem?
Yes.
That there's this, as a politician moves, they have to move with a certain crowd of people, maybe for their own protection, who look rough, who look like they can protect you.
Yeah, but you see, it's organic. So what I want, in ODM we have a lot of passion. So what I want to recognize is the role of the PS Raymond Omolo in trying to shape and re-engineer how we behave in political rallies.
Are we justifying crime, Fwamba? Allow me to ask this question. Are we justifying crime? That even the CS does not see a lot of problem in this? It's something normal. Yeah, politicians do this.